Hey, what's up, y'all? This is the Mother's House Podcast, and I am DESHAUN.
What's going on, family? What is up? This is your other brother, other cousin, CORREAL. What's up with my cousin Zoe?
Hey.
What's up,
What's going on in Savannah? It's hurricane season, it is.
Hurricane season. We just got... America got plummeted in Texas with Harvey. There's floods in Nigeria. There's a comet supposedly coming down on British Columbia.
A comet?
I don't know how true that is. I saw that on a Facebook post. But yeah, Hurricane Irma headed our way. Well, headed to Florida. Headed towards Florida.
Oh. Y'all scared? Y'all nervous?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are shaking up because, you know, Matthew shook Savannah up pretty bad. You know, it shook them up pretty bad last year. So we just getting prepared, man. We just getting prepared for whatever goes down out here, you know.
Right. Yeah, hurricanes are really making an impact this year. Like, they're big as hell, and Houston just got rocked by one. This Irma hurricane is pretty big. Then the Jose hurricane is supposed to be pretty big. The poor Caribbean, they always get hurricanes. How did they make it?
I'm telling you, like, they get plummeted like every season. Mm-hmm. Every season, a hurricane come through the Caribbean's area. You know what I'm saying? A lot of those islands, and it's different from trying to evacuate or move closer inland there, because you're like surrounded by water. You know,
they got to leave.
Surrounded by water on them islands, so and the way Irma's headed, it's like headed, like the eye is headed over those areas. So
yeah, like a lot of hurricanes end up passing through the Caribbean and Florida too. How do you prepare for a hurricane besides just boarding up your house and leaving? Is that all you do?
Well, you can actually board up, really and truly, because like you don't have to like go, like for instance, they're telling people in Florida, like you don't necessarily have to go all the way up to Georgia to try to avoid the hurricane. They're saying like if you can go somewhere inward and just kind of ride out the winds, you'll be fine. If you about that life. A lot of people, you know, I think people from Florida, they kind of been through enough hurricanes to be about that life, but I think Hurricane Irma is like Category 5 right now. It's hitting Category 5, going over the is it Lemur or Leroy Islands? What is it called?
What?
I forgot the name of the islands that it's covering right now.
I don't know. Caribbean.
Yeah. So it's hitting like Antigua. It's going to hit Puerto Rico. It's going to hit Dominican Republic areas. It's a big ass storm, and you know a lot of people are freaking out. Well, you know, because one, we just had to deal with Hurricane Harvey, and Hurricane Harvey devastated Houston, and you know it can devastate Florida just the same way. You know, Irma can devastate Florida. Then you got Jose, you know, brewing out there in the Atlantic. So you know, a lot of people are nervous, man. A lot of people are scared.
Right. You know, growing up, I never got afraid of a hurricane because Savannah, like, rarely got hit by hurricanes. I mean, like,
very true.
Rarely. Even though Savannah's right there on the coast and it's really close to Florida, we rarely got hit by hurricanes. I remember we came up here that one time.
Y'all came up there to Atlanta.
Mm-hmm, that was fun.
Yeah. Well, it was fun. We were playing cut friends and everything. But I think that with the intensity, with the change of the climate and the climate change and everything, the way we treat our atmosphere is causing more warm temperatures in the water, creating more chaotic storms and making these storms a lot bigger. It's going to impact. It's going to impact the states. It's definitely going to impact Savannah or any coastal region of the United States or any coastal region, really. Because we're not, and the thing is, with that knowledge, knowing that global warming is really fucking happening, we should be at least somewhat more prepared than we are. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Do hurricanes happen anywhere else in the world?
Yeah, it happens all the time. And on the eastern side, like by what area get hit a lot? I know over there by China, Asia area get hit a lot. Africa get hit sometimes with hurricanes a lot. Some places in the continent of Africa, some places in the continent of Asia, Japan. It happens pretty frequently. Sometimes now, does it happen on the West Coast? Because right now the West Coast is completely under fire.
Oh no, they don't get hurricanes in LA or over there.
Yeah, I know they get a lot of earthquakes, but I don't know about hurricanes. Irma need to take her ass all the way around and hit up damn LA so they can put out that fire.
Why is that fire happening anyway? LA has like this extremely big fire going on.
Yeah, I don't even know, cuz. I don't even know.
That fire big?
I don't even know enough, like, what started the fire. All I know, I just saw a video footage of the fire, like, happening. I'm like, damn, that's a big ass fire.
Right.
You know? It's the thing is, when we're dealing with natural disasters and stuff like that, it's good to be prepared. So you got to make sure you got your flood insurance going. You may got to make sure you got your paperwork, because like a lot of places, like what they did in Houston, when people got evacuated or left the city, and in order to come back in the city, you have to have 2 forms of ID. When in the last thing in your mind during a hurricane, you ain't thinking about grabbing no birth certificate or no
like,
social security card. Like, you're like, I got my driver license. Like, I know I need my driver license to drive out of this motherfucker. I should just drive back into my own hometown. But, you know, with the new quote unquote, what do they call it? Police state. I was about to say police state, but I don't think that's the term for it. I guess it's called law and order. They trying to maintain law and order. They don't want people out here looting, quote unquote, all that stuff, right? You know, they don't want people come back to the city looting or who ain't supposed to be there and stuff like that. It's get to the point. It's like, okay.
So they check every single person that comes in?
That's what they been doing during. They did that during Katrina. They did that during Houston, Harvey. And I don't think that's properly fair for the residents or people from that area. Because got in mind, it also mentioned the folks who are like undocumented workers or immigrants, people. Like, we're dealing with DACA. That's a whole nother issue that we're gonna touch on tonight. You know, it's a floodgates of issues on top of a natural disaster where you should be trying to make these people transition back home a little easier. You know what I'm saying?
I guess they still have to be cautious just in case.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I get it. But what do you do to prepare for a hurricane? Like, what type of things do you need in order if you're going to stay home and try to ride it out, which I don't suggest during a Category 5. I don't even suggest that during a Category 3 hurricane. I suggest if you're going to deal with a hurricane, it's best to ride out. Now, I know Uncle Amp, he ain't going nowhere.
Right, exactly.
You know, Amp, he'll ride through anything. He's like, I ain't going nowhere. I got my animals here. You know, I got my farm.
Amp gonna stay there?
I can't just leave it.
Amp gonna stay there?
Yeah, I think that's his plan. I think his plan is just to stay there regardless what happens. I think that's his plan. I think his plan is to pretty much stay there. Now, granted, Amp, I don't know if where he live at, is that like up or down? Like, I don't know if it sits up in the landscape of things or it sits down.
Pooler is like
really
west.
Matter. What you about to say?
Said Pooler is west.
I know Pooler is west, but it's still part of Savannah. It's still gonna. I mean, Pooler got underwater during Harvey.
Right.
Yeah. I just don't know if his land sits up. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, like elevation wise?
Yeah, elevation wise. Like, is it like a downhill slope from where he live at? From me remembering or because I haven't been there. I'm supposed to go there this weekend because Uncle Al's birthday was Saturday. So
happy birthday, Uncle Al.
Yeah, happy belated birthday, Uncle Al. So I'm supposed to go out there. I didn't, but I know he's claiming he's gonna stay. He's gonna stay around. He rolled out Matthew. He ain't leave. He ain't bounce out of here. He just rolled that thing on out. But what type of things do you need? I think it's interesting.
I mean, you probably need the basics like some water, some canned goods. It's enough food to last a good week. Go to the grocery store, stock up as much as possible.
Yeah.
And just make sure you don't kind of use up everything so fast.
Yeah. If you got enough money, purchase a generator because a generator can sustain, your battery life, so you be able to keep in touch with your
some candles.
Candles, yep. Definitely invest in candles. Get some nice books to read. Yeah, that'd be a perfect time to read. Right. And get some information, and not just so you have knowledge and stuff, but it just, in case you don't want to drain out your battery looking on the phone all day trying to entertain yourself, read a book. Also, drinking water, man. You can't stress that enough. You need drinking water. You need water to bathe in, because like in Houston, a lot of the water, got corrupted with the oil refineries and a lot of the pollution that being pushed out of the industries that's in Texas. They got a lot of those industries that can pollute the water here in Savannah. They got that in Florida and Miami. You gotta be mindful of, you can't just think you can just hop outside and you be good. Just walking outside in that water, you can really get sick. Really sick.
Right, most
just
definitely.
Walking in that water. So that's why I'm saying, it's not really. What you about to say?
I was about to say, but hopefully it doesn't flood like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, regardless, Irma's going to hit the States. We just don't know where it's going to hit. We don't know if it's coming upward towards, the eastern coast, or if it's going to go towards the Gulf Coast and hit Valdosta area, part of Georgia, and the whole state of Florida. Because if it does, that's really going to be bad for Florida. You know what I'm saying? You gotta also keep in mind, don't really, if you can get somewhere inland, don't be hanging out in front of the window trying to look at the storm. Don't try to videotape the storm from your window.
Somebody gonna, people gonna do that anyway.
Yeah, they gonna do it regardless.
That thing gonna be on YouTube the next day.
Hurricane.
Right.
Maybe if you want to do that, sit your phone up, like a camera right there at the window, and you take your butt in the bathroom or somewhere while the winds and everything going.
Right.
Because these type of strong winds, Category 5 is a strong enough wind to tear down a whole home. You know what I'm saying? So, and why don't they have most of the houses for instance on the coast, they got homes that sits up, right? They got a little post and got homes that sits up, right? A lot of people will try to make purchases like that for Haiti. Places like Haiti and Puerto Rico and places like that, they got some homes like that. They should have that for very low income homes as well. Now, people who have living in low income, their homes get devastated. They probably don't have flood insurance, so they can't afford it because there's extra money coming out of their monthly income.
Right. I do feel like there's more that should be done to help
people
make the whole evacuation and hurricane thing not as stressful and dramatic as it always is. At this point, we know. At this point, Miami gonna get hit by a hurricane every year.
Every year.
Matter of fact, the whole state of Florida should have some type of hurricane preparedness strategy. North Carolina too, because North Carolina get hit because North Carolina kind of jets out a little bit, and really the whole coast.
Really, yeah.
Shit, because South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, the Gulf, everywhere that's under sea level or below sea level should have some type of extra team of some sort to help them prepare for a hurricane.
Right.
Even if it's like a tax that says, okay, when a hurricane comes, we'll give y'all money we'll give y'all some type of vouchers to get hotels somewhere.
Right.
Think about it, because if you were paying for that tax all the time, then they would have that money ready for you to like just go and use when you need to leave town for a hurricane.
But if they're going to increase on that tax, they got to increase on the pay for low incomes and everything as well.
What?
Like, if they're going to increase on that kind of tax, for that kind of tax, right?
Mm-hmm.
People who are making low income jobs, like working at a Home Depot or Lowe's or Walmart, McDonald's, you know what I'm saying? People who are living, basically, that's their 9 to 5. That's how they live. They got to at least make $15 an hour or something so they can at least put more money towards that tax. You dig what I'm saying?
Right, but really and truly, they probably could just take it out of the tax that they already use.
Really, yeah. Honestly, they can take that from the extra spending on military weapons for the police department.
Like they be having like little T-sploss tax.
Yeah.
And all the little taxes they be having. Why don't they just have like a natural disaster tax?
Yeah. I don't see no problem with that.
I mean, at this point, hurricanes and tropical storms and floods and all that stuff, earthquakes, that stuff happens all the time. I just feel like in 2017, you should be a little bit more prepared. Like, come on.
Yeah. Seriously, man, it's ridiculous because right now, I'm about to read what your brother sent me actually. I'm gonna read it out. And he just had a meeting with the director at our job, and they basically telling us, like, you know, updating us about the storm, and they saying, family, please fill your cars up no later than tomorrow. They have not announced it to the public, but hospitals and other emergency services are all code red. Gas will be limited to emergency faculties, and hotels are already booked in the area for hotels, but they may have to move further inland since the storm is intensifying by the hour. Get your bags together and let's pray that we all are okay after this whole storm. And it's scary because this storm could devastate a little small place like Savannah. Miami can get this devastated. Little places inside Florida can get devastated. You gotta be mindful of those things. Like, you don't know what you're gonna be coming back home to. That's a whole nother issue that's gonna be on a lot of people's minds worrying about. Like, you don't know if you coming home, if you're able to come home. You know what I'm saying?
Right, like a weekend can turn into
for a couple of months, right. 6 months, 8 months down the line, or have to shift up and move your whole family to another location and find work. You know, so we should have more of a stronghold on the aftermath after a hurricane. You know what I'm saying? Look at Harvey right now. People are still recovering from Harvey. You know what I'm saying? And that's not going to take no couple of weeks. You know what I'm saying? A week of tweets about Harvey, and now it's diminished. Like, people still need donations for Harvey.
I still hear stuff about Harvey.
I mean, I still see stuff about Harvey, but you know, it need to be just as prevalent when Harvey was going through, when they were going through it. You know what I'm saying? It need to be, because that's an ongoing process. That's what happened with Katrina. Katrina happened. We was on it for about a month. After that, it kind of died down a little bit, and then 3 months down the line, people just stopped talking about it unless they talking about it in a cultural perspective, and, you know, poking fun at people who you know, quote unquote, leeching on other people to try to survive.
I don't think so. I think people talked about Katrina for a while.
We did talk about Katrina.
Because I feel like Katrina was the first. Well, not first, but one of the deadliest and costliest hurricanes in a while. I guess definitely of this generation. I ain't never seen that like Katrina. Yeah, it caused people to literally not go back to New Orleans. Has not been the same since. Like, the population is like cut in half. A lot of them have dispersed. Like, Katrina really, really, really affected that area. So I do think I think people kind of talked about it for a while. I don't think it was brushed under the rug that easily.
I don't think it was brushed under the rug. I think it was brushed under the rug as far as, you know, the resources wasn't poured into trying to rebuild those homes for those low income people, or for the people that, you know, originators, people who lived there their whole lives, their whole family. Like in Katrina, like I have family that from there, they end up having to move to Atlanta. They've been in New Orleans forever. You know what I'm saying? I never even knew they were family until they came to Atlanta. But my dad never even heard of them, you know? So, you know, something like that, something devastating like that, we don't want to see nothing like that, even for people in Houston or people from in Miami and Florida. We don't want to see nothing like that happen. And the best way to do that is not to let it die down. Like, we still got to keep giving to Hurricane Harvey victims, you know what I'm saying, and people who was affected by that. We still need to be giving money to people who was affected by Katrina. We still need to give money to
10 years, like 12 years later. You think we still need to be giving money to people who was affected by Katrina?
Yeah, I think people are still, but there's a lot of homeless people out here, and I bet you there's a good percentage of them was affected by Katrina. I got a feeling that's probably is the case. I think, you know, and I'm saying like just giving cash money here and there. I'm talking about resources, jobs, you know what I'm saying? You know, things that will help them sustain a sustainable life. You know what I'm saying? After the storm. You know what I'm saying?
12 years like, later though?
Yeah, I mean, if they ain't did it back then, cause a lot of people, they wasn't giving FEMA. We already know the horror stories of Red Cross and FEMA not issuing out the money and not giving people the funds that they needed to be able to move on beyond Katrina. We know that for a fact. That may still be in effect for people who've been dealing with it for 12 years, who've been homeless for 12 years. Then they had to like really working hard to grind. You know what I'm saying? Maybe if we made it to the point where we giving these people an actual shot early on, and then continue these process, you know, continue the negligence that the government been giving to the people of Katrina, that dealt with Katrina, you know, if we do that same thing to people like during Harvey, or what's going to happen with Irma, you know, it can, hey man, this thing could last for 12 years. It can really affect a person's whole lifestyle.
I mean, I see what you're saying. I really do. But you have to. I'm
not necessarily saying like they should get like money or nothing. Like they can't bounce back. Like, look, clearly a lot of people have bounced back. And I ain't saying there's people, like most of the people from Katrina are homeless. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is like, if we pay attention to what happened to Katrina and treat these issues, what's happening in Houston, what could happen as of right now, what's going to end up happening to what's going in Florida, or what could happen in Savannah, or wherever these storms may hit, you know, we have to be diligent in maintaining, try to help maintain human life.
Right. I see what you're saying, but I feel like it's always gonna be a natural disaster, like all the time. So you can't, like, it comes a time where you have to do what you have to do to get off your own. Feel like you have to, because there's literally a hurricane coming up right after Harvey, like literally. And I'm not saying, you know, we should like forget them or, you know, neglect them, but there just comes a time where you have to get on your own feet, on your own. Now I know it's people who, you know, I feel like I'm not gonna say it's nobody who's homeless because of Katrina, because a lot of people are affected by Katrina, but I feel like at this point everybody should have recovered in some type of way from Katrina. Maybe not fully recovered.
Well, I don't think they probably psychologically they probably ain't fully recovered because.
Well, I'm not talking about psychologically. I'm talking about just, you know, stable, like found somewhere to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So a lot of people lost family members and stuff like that. So
right. I mean, of course, psychologically is a whole nother story. But I'm just talking about you found some place to live. You found the life.
Yeah.
Whether that life was
I
back in
believe
New
that. I
Orleans,
agree with that.
or whether that life is, you know, somewhere else. Like, you have to take some accountability. Like, I know nobody can control natural disasters, but even if you are as broke, you still got to find a way to
maintain.
Yeah, you got to. Like, I mean, life is a bitch.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the thing, man. That's the thing. Like, people are resilient. As many times even us as black folks, as many times we've been through we still going through the ring. We are resilient, and people are resilient. You know, and a lot of people from Katrina are resilient. They was able to bounce back in these new cities, be able to get jobs, you know, maintain themselves. But, you know, like you said, that things happen every freaking day. Like you said, there's another hurricane coming right behind Irma. You know, we got to prepare for that. You know what I'm saying? And the effects of that. Right now it's a tropical storm. It's called Jose. So we got to prepare for that. We got to prepare for what's going on with Irma. We got to prepare for what's going on right now in Houston. We got to prepare for what's going on in LA. The natural, you know, burning down these fires. You know, the climate change is really fucking happening. If our government and state leaders are not taking the climate change as serious, what do you expect the people to do? You know what I'm saying? And I think we don't need to look towards our government officials. We need to look towards each other. We need to look towards more of a we need to be more proactive than our state officials. You know what I'm saying? We need to be like we got to look out for our family first. Like, at the end of the day, look out for your family first. You know, make sure your family good. Make sure you got your water. If you want to ride it out, or even if you're not, if you got to take a long trip to Atlanta or a long trip to Tennessee or wherever you got to go, make sure you got water. Make sure you got a little spending money. Make sure you got a place to go. If you ain't got a place to go, you got enough money to stay somewhere, or live in a shelter, or whatever you got to do. You got to do what you got to do. Find work, whatever you have to do. And that's the thing. Like, people are resilient. We're going to get through this, but we have to take serious account that, shoot, this thing could be really big and could really mess up a lot of people's homes. That's the only concern I have right now here in Savannah is, like, if Irma hit Savannah and it devastates our city, you know, this is home. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, this is home. Like, where the fuck else will you go? You know
right. I agree.
What can you do? And it's going to be a struggle, but you're going to figure it out. You know,
right,
like
exactly. You will figure it out. Yeah, we definitely have to take care of each other. Like, that's just a given, you know.
Yeah.
Unite, be a little bit more communal.
Right.
And really look out for one another. But I feel like with the natural disaster, it is a great time to, like, force your government to do something, because it's like, that's when you start kicking people out of office.
Yeah.
Like, when such and such hurricane happened, you were nowhere to be found, or that's when people need to be fired.
Yeah, seriously. When you making movements like on DACA, or making movements toward demolishing the protection of hurricane victims, you know what I'm saying? You doing moves, you're passing bills that really going to hurt the masses, the people. You should really lose your job, because you're not really, and you're not preserving life. You're supposed to be trying to preserve American life, American lifestyle, American this, American that, woo, America. Right?
As well as just people who just aren't prepared for the hurricane, you know what I'm saying? Just officials who just kind of didn't do nothing, like, because every year they kind of don't do nothing, the hurricane don't ever hit them, so that's kind of their excuse. Well, the hurricane never hit us, so that's why we don't do nothing.
And that's not a good enough excuse. Right. If one person dies during a hurricane, that still ain't enough excuse to validate.
Especially if you're, like, surrounded by water.
Right. Like, come on now. So that's
like, I see if you was like Atlanta, you know what I'm saying, and didn't do nothing for the hurricane. But Houston is, like, right there on the Gulf.
Right.
Like, how the officials and the infrastructure was just so, it's like almost they're waiting for a hurricane to come and knock everything down.
Right. You know, that's the thing. A natural disaster should change your whole mindset on how you can protect and ensure your businesses, your land. You know what I'm saying? All these things, it should get you to think, okay, this just happened. Another hurricane is really fucking crazy these days. Let's really get serious on building like levees that will get the water out of the damn city a lot quicker, or you know what I'm saying, a draining system or something, some kind of way.
It's 2017. We should already have that all over the country. Like seriously, 20 years ago, I just knew we would be having flying cars and shit.
I could have sworn we were gonna be on some jets and shit.
Like, I just knew the infrastructure was just no problem. Like by then, we wouldn't be talking about how bridges are tumbling. I'm not talking about bridges because of the hurricane, just because.
Yeah, we talk about bridges just tumbling down.
Yeah, just because they haven't been, renovated or whatever. I didn't think we'd be talking about Flint. And all the things that are happening with the hurricanes is a bad thing, but it also kind of makes you look at how America isn't taking care of its infrastructure too.
Exactly. Yeah. It really does. It makes you question what it's doing with its infrastructure. Where are tax money dollars really going to? Is it really going to building up the infrastructure, building jobs, and really making the city and the areas that we live in safer? You dig what I'm saying?
Right.
For these natural disasters, for these decaying bridges or water supply that's getting poisoned, because of the pollution that we put in the air or the pollution that people just dump in the damn river. Like, look at Flint, it really make you question all that. It make you like, what the hell are we doing? You know what I'm saying? Why are we not outraged enough to really be like, yo, y'all need to do something. This is our money. You know what I'm saying? We put our money into this shit.
Right. It's like, I don't know. We all over the place. We distracted. I always say that, but we are.
We are distracted.
Like, these apps are addictive. I mean,
my God. I was just on Facebook all day. Facebook, Instagram, the Real News app. I was all over the place trying to just find information on Irma, on a whole bunch of things.
Like, we don't get really concerned with stuff until it hits our front door.
That's true, and that's not just hurricanes or natural disasters.
That's all stuff.
All things, racism, every fucking thing. We don't know the effects of it until it hit our front door. Look at that nurse who got arrested for backing up defending a man right to not have his blood. Was it his blood? What that cop was trying to take from him? Because the guy was unconscious. The cop was trying to get was it blood? Drug test. So he was trying to get a drug test for the man, and she's like, with defending her, he arrested her for doing her job.
Damn, how you arrested her?
You ain't heard about that?
Nah.
Yeah, so I don't know where it's at. It's a white lady, I believe the guy is thinking like Nebraska or Utah. It's a predominantly white area. So I think the guy was white that the cop was trying to get the drug test pulled from him, but he just arrested her because he was trying to instill her job, and we kind of educating him out his damn job. Like, dude, you got to follow these protocols before you even come to me asking me to draw blood from this guy. And the cop like, well, fuck that, I'm just arrest you because, you know what I'm saying?
But what was his charge against her?
I don't even know. Well, right now he's I don't even know the charge.
Like disobeying the officer or some shit?
Yeah, I guess interfering with the investigation, impeding the investigation, or some bullshit like that. But he ended up getting early retirement. He didn't get fired. He got early retirement because of the whole incident. The lady is white, so a lot of people had mixed emotions about that. Not too many people crying tears for her. They just, we as black people already know the system is fucked up as far as, with the police state and everything and how the fuck they do. Right. But it's still fucked up at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was following protocol, and not only she was following protocol, she was doing it kind of protecting the hospital because, for instance, she did let the man let the cop take the man, draw the man blood for the cop. This hospital can get sued for that because that's
right, and she'll get fired.
Rights.
Exactly.
And she get fired. You dig what I'm saying? Then she lose her fucking job.
Right.
So she was doing the right thing as far as protocol, how it goes down in the hospitals.
That's
so.
True.
What that got to do with Irma? Nothing. It doesn't. It was just one of those trending topics that we have to really take notice that things don't happen. We don't take things in consideration until it hits you. I bet that lady, if it was a black child situation, we don't know. She may have just went ahead and drew the damn blood, as they do in a lot of these hospitals, because these hospitals do this shit. You know what I'm saying? If it was little Jarrell or Isaac, the cop just come in there, he ain't got no charges against him. They not trying to arrest him. They just want blood drawn from him. They do take drug tests on people. They did that in my homeboy Eric. They did that Eric. A couple of years, I want to say about 5 years ago, he got in a car accident. He wasn't at fault. He wasn't getting arrested or nothing like that. He ended up having to go to the hospital. He was unconscious at the time, and they, wanted to draw his blood. And they were about to go ahead and do that until his girlfriend was like, y'all ain't about to do that until he wake up. And he said, y'all can do that.
Right, consent, goddamn.
You got to give him some consent. You can't just take my blood or take me, you can take my, take my blood and see what the hell going on, but you can't just do a drug test on me without my consent. I remember Eric was telling me that. I was like, damn, dude, like, they were really trying to just take your damn drug test you without your consent. And you're like, yeah, until my girlfriend said, nah, don't do that. They was about to do it. Right.
But, you ready to switch gears? Since you got the important stuff out the way, the stuff that's, imperative.
I want to say one more thing about preparation for Hurricane Harvey. Because when I was talking, Irma, when I was talking to your brother, talking to Ofun Maja, Marty, he said something important, like for families, especially black families, like a lot of us don't have like resources to be able to have like different places we can go. A lot of people have to go to shelters. A lot of people may have to go to shelters to kind of stack up there. But what we need to start trying to build our economics up to the point where we can have alternate places to go, like other homes. Like with our family, how big is our family, we should have a house up in Atlanta right now. You know what I'm saying? That everybody can go to. You dig what I'm saying? Like we
like
should
a
have
safe
a house.
Some type of safe house.
Like basically a safe house, extra homes. You know what I'm saying? That the family all pushed again together to get a house in case we have a natural disaster like this situation.
Like 10 bedrooms.
That'd be a great investment
that'd be
for
dope,
a family, especially for a large family.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we gotta start. We do need to get really serious about our family economics.
Yeah, I agree.
We gotta get serious about our family economics. We gotta get serious about, because the world is shifting, the landscape, the weather changes, every fucking thing.
I almost feel like the weather is changing kind of drastically, though.
It is moving fast. It ain't like, 12 years ago. It's really not that damn long ago.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, we had one hurricane after another hurricane after another hurricane, and we got hurricane season still ain't over. It ain't over till November.
Right. You got 2 or 3 more months.
Yeah, exactly. We about to have 3 in a month, within a month time frame.
Jeez. But yeah, I definitely agree. I agree.
So, and not only just like, for instance, we live in Savannah, we can have places like outside of Georgia, outside of the states, outside of the country. We can have places in Africa and have people over there that we know, you know what I'm saying? That's why it's good to network and build. So that's where the whole DACA thing, which we about to touch on a little bit in a second. Yeah, like I said, man, family economics is definitely important. That's the only 2 cents I want to kind of throw in there. Salute to Ofun Maja for putting that plug in my ear, because Yeah, I think that's really damn important.
Right. Okay.
So let's go. We're going to go into the next topic. What we're going to talk about was LeVar Ball and Nas. So LeVar Ball and Nas is beefing.
Nas don't know who LeVar Ball is. Hell, I barely know who he is. I can barely say his name. Shit.
Yeah. LeVar Ball is saying that Nas. What did he basically say? He basically said Nas is not real hip hop. The real hip hop is the Migos and he said the Migos. I think he said the Migos and Uzi Vert or somebody young, a Lil Yachty or somebody like that. And it's the generational thing. So, shouldn't that be a thing? Like, should it be a big issue for us to talk about within hip hop culture and the culture period of our music and everything? Is that an issue? What's going on? What we seeing between LeVar Ball, his statements, and him saying basically Nas is not hip hop?
I personally don't feel like it's that big of a deal.
I think it's an opinion at the end.
I think it's an opinion.
Yeah.
I just feel like it really doesn't need to be any time or energy wasted on it. I think Nas is cemented in being one of the greatest of all time. And I think if you know enough about hip hop, you know that. Maybe LeVar Ball don't know hip hop like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Maybe he young and he a kid and he half white and he probably grew up around white people. I'm just saying, like, he probably know what's popular. That's probably what he know. So I'm just saying.
Exactly. I agree with everything you just said. It's like during the whole 90s, like, think about when Nas was coming out, you know, there's people probably be like,
who's Rakim? Like, who the hell is that?
I don't think they were saying, because they were kind of close.
Okay, well, who is,
like, who the hell is Melly Mel? Who the hell is,
who's Run DMC?
Master Flash? Like, who these people?
I think I always knew who Run DMC was, though.
What about Run DMC?
I said I think I've always known who they were.
Oh yeah, I did too. I knew about Melly Mel and Flash. I knew about all.
Right, but I mean, if you're just a kid who's just kind of paying attention to whatever is popular versus really studying hip hop and, you know, being a hip hop head or just someone who came up in hip hop, you probably just not gonna be paying. It's art. Like, who cares? You ain't got to know who Nas is. You play basketball.
Which then this is the thing, man. Making a statement like that. With like LeVar Ball and him giving his age and his musical taste, it's all, you know, subjective and whatever. But at the end of the day, you know, there's a bigger scheme of things where it's not just LeVar Ball's statement. That's probably the statement of a lot of these young influential children. And me and your brother was having a conversation on it, and I'm like, you know, it's really at the fault of his, you know, the people that was before, you know, LeVar Ball, you know, not LeVar Ball, before the Lil Uzi verse and before the new generation that's really trying to making hip hop popular now. You dig what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's like we don't hold our greats in esteem. We don't, in hip hop, we don't hold, like, it's a young sport, you know, it's a young mentality type of genre.
Has Nas gotten his Lifetime Achievement Award for the Hip Hop Awards yet? It might be time.
It's time.
It would be a perfect time.
It's really perfect time for Nas to get it, man. Nas is hands down. Nas is my number one rapper of all time. He's just my favorite rapper. I don't care what anybody has to say. He's my favorite.
Or like some type of hip hop honors of some sort, you know.
Yeah, Nas definitely deserves it. But at the same time, I think, like, I would listen to Mos Def interview. It was really good. Y'all should definitely check that out. It was the interview Yasin Bey was on Hot 97. It was a really dope interview. And he was basically saying, like, back in those days, you know, they were like teenagers. Nas was 16, 15 writing Illmatic. You know what I'm saying? You know, we got Outkast. They were like 16, 17 writing these songs. For us to be like, well, these just kids. They just doing what kids do. Whoop the whoop. Like, that's not a real valid excuse. That was most definitely trying to say. He was like, that's not a valid excuse when you have people like Nas at that age was saying something really profound and really deep.
And you're saying, far as just like the young rappers not being as deep or conscious as.
Well, they're not being conscientious of what they're saying. They just seeing the money bag. They just seeing money.
Right.
To go grab it. And I think that's what most of them was kind of trying to allude to.
Right. And I dig that. I do. But I always like. And I always try to remind myself as well, you don't know what these rappers dumb down.
Yeah.
So you don't know who's controlling stuff. Like, the industry's different now. They might be saying, nah, don't talk about this, talk about that. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what the control is. Yeah. So, yeah. Or what's going on behind the scenes.
Because this is the thing. When Nas was coming out, his influence, this is what your brother was breaking down to me. Like, when Nas was coming out, his influence were like Rakim, Melly Mel, you know, Big Daddy Kane, people further than that, you know, LL Cool J, Run DMC, you go further down to Grandmaster Flash, Furious 5, you know, you can keep going down. That's what his influence. They were more in line of the early genre. Hip hop was still pretty much young. It was like 10 years young. Right now we like over. What is it, like 40th year, 44th year of hip-hop?
It's old, shit.
Yeah, hip-hop is like 44 years old, which is still a young genre at the same time. It's old, but it's still a young genre. And it's gone so big and so global right now that you got many different aspects of hip-hop. You know what I'm saying? Where Gucci Mane is just as hip-hop as a Nasir Jones. You know what I'm saying? Lil Uzi Vert, I was about to say he just a hip hop, but I guess.
I like Lil Uzi Vert.
He died, yeah. I ain't gonna knock the little man hustle.
Yeah, I like Lil Uzi Vert.
I ain't gonna knock the little man.
That's the one who's saying.
At the same time, it's like when I'm saying like the OGs, the quote unquote, the term of OG is like you get leadership from your elders. That's just an African way of life. Like you get leadership from your elders. You look to your elders supposed to pass down the knowledge and tools to help elevate the genre. And I think we missed the ball within hip hop to do that, and that's why you got a little rebellion coming from the younger generation, where they're not really respecting the older artists or the older people that really paved the way for them. You know what I'm saying? Because they haven't reached back to the younger generation to really give them that tools of knowledge and stuff like that. And I'm not speaking specifically to Nas. He got he got a lot of people like under his tutelage that he kind of coached and help out with their careers. You know, but for the mass majority of these elder hip hop artists, they don't necessarily go back and try to reach down and help out. They just try to live their life, you know, and still want the same respect they had back then. But if you really want to maintain that respect, you got to maintain that integrity, gain past the knowledge and gain to these younger generations. You got to.
True. I also feel like, and I feel Nas has done this. Sometimes it is time to kind of like step back, like, and let them. You gotta let that generation find itself as well. Like, every time the next generation come, the generation prior be like, what they doing? Who do that? That's lame. That's this. They can't rap or they can't sing. What's that? What's this style? Why do you dress like that? Sometimes you just gotta let the generation be itself and find itself and make their mark. You know what I'm saying? And let them do their thing.
I think I agree to a extent, but this at the same time, and this just me being old. I am getting up there in age. Like, I'm not a 21 Savage fan. I'm just not. He cool and all, and I ain't really a 21. I ain't gonna listen to no 21 Savage album. That's just not me. You know, give me MF Doom. Give me a Lupe Fiasco new album. Somebody that I know who can lyrically hold things down. I listen to Vic Mensa. Vic Mensa studied the game. You know what I'm saying? He's a student of the game. Give me people that really want to say something that relates to the people. A lot of these kids, they not speaking on things that really is relatable to the people. They just really and truly, I think a lot of this stuff is playing on the genre. But we got to also keep in mind, I think I said this before, we got to keep in mind, hip-hop, we have sold our culture to other people and let other people dictate what hip hop, our culture is, and that's why we see the situation like we do now, where everybody have a commentary on what's hip hop. They saying Nas is not hip hop, but they never been part of the culture. You know what I'm saying? We let these white hipsters, these people who glorify the culture, they claim they glorify the culture, but they really tearing up the culture because they don't really truly understand the culture or understand the lyrics, don't understand the meaning behind the drums. You know what I'm saying? We letting too many people into our culture, too many people into our music, too many people into our we became too damn mainstream to the point where we basically sell it out, you know, with the music.
I mean, you know? I agree to a certain extent. I do think we have lost control over our creativity in a lot of different ways. But I also feel like,
and the reason why, go ahead, finish your statement. I was about to say.
I also feel like, though we've lost some control over the creativity, I feel like there's room for all of that. There's room for people to, quote unquote, speak for the people. There's room for people to be lit every day, according to some songs, and have a good time and do stuff like that. I think there are different lanes for all of that. Now, is each lane an equal size? Probably not. But there is room, because I don't want to listen to conscious shit all the time. Sometimes I want to be lit every day, and sometimes I want to be Kendrick, and sometimes I want to be J. Cole, sometimes I want to be Migos, sometimes I want to be one of these little fun young rappers like Lil Uzi Vert. Like, I have different moods, and I think most people do. And I also feel like you never know, because I don't listen to a lot of these people entire albums. Sometimes they may have some hidden gems on the albums too.
No, I listen to it. No.
Well, I don't agree with some of them. People be having some stuff on the album that it'll shock you. Like, what? Like, where he came?
Migos may have something like that. I did listen to Migos. I like Migos. I actually like Migos. Yeah, not Lil Yachty, not Lil Bo, not him.
I mean, I'm not saying every single artist, of course.
Not like that at all. I'm sorry, Shawty.
Oh no, it's cool. Like,
a hip hop head is not. But see, the thing is, hip hop has gotten to the point where it's not really special no more. That's my main issue. Where if you want to get a special, you got to look toward. If you want something special from a hip hop artist, you're gonna probably look at the big people in hip hop like Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, Drake. You got new people like Vic Mensa doing his thing. Jid, he's a new rap artist. You got female rap artists like Rhapsody and there's another sister. I forget her name. She's really fucking dope. I forget her name. There's a lot of people out there. A lot of people doing music. Period. It's somewhere for everything. But the thing is, the issue that we seeing now is the most popular music. The music that you hear on the radio all the time is the music that's going to continue to keep you turned up. You continue not to think about things. It continue to keep you distracted.
Right. And I agree.
That really want to push you to really elevate your mind to think of different things and have a deeper meaning or deeper understanding of things. And you don't really need that all the time, because that shit will have paranoid as fuck.
Right. There definitely should be a balance. There definitely should be a balance, but I also feel like those artists you name are kind of just artists that you like. I don't think those artists are. I think they're special, but I think they're special artists in a variety of genres. And I think as time goes on, like, culture change, like, things just change. I don't think hip hop would be fun if it was just those artists that you name, because it would just be boring. Like, to me it would be, and I think to a lot of other people too. Like, I do think there needs to be a balance. I definitely agree with that. There definitely needs to be more like conscious stuff, more enlightening stuff, more higher vibrations.
Not necessarily conscious. I'm talking about the quality of music.
Well, more like a higher vibration in hip hop. But I also feel like, damn it, I forgot what I was about to say. Hush, let me talk. I do feel like there needs to be like a higher vibration in music, period.
Right.
You know, all throughout, music. But I also feel like, things just change. And you can't really...
Well, this is the thing. How long are we gonna go through the change?
Oh, and I was about to say this. I think one of the reasons why hip hop is as big as it is because it has evolved. I don't think hip hop would be, and I think that's one of the reasons R&B had so much trouble, because for a minute R&B wasn't evolving. So now R&B, it's like they don't really know what to do with R&B except be like hip hop, because hip hop is what's hot. I think hip hop has stayed alive by evolving. Now I'm not saying everything is great that what they've done, but I do feel like part of hip hop still being relevant is because it has evolved and changed and grown a lot actually over time. I do.
I agree. I agree to that to an extent. I think it's like you said, the vibration of the music. I just don't think the quality of it, and it's not because those are the artists that I necessarily like. I'm talking about the quality of the music, period. Like the quality of a full-length album of a Lil Uzi Vert or a full-length album of a Lil Boat, Lil Yachty. You know, that shit is not good. It's not good at all. Although it's not a good quality of music. I'm talking about the quality of the music coming from hip-hop genre.
But who's judging though?
But that's me. And granted, this is my personal opinion. And I ain't saying everybody got to agree with my personal opinion, but this is the fuck how I feel.
Yeah, you have every right.
You know, this is how I feel, and this is what I'm hearing, and this is what I'm listening to. It's not that damn great. It's nothing special about what the fuck is going on in a Lil Yachty song. I can't even. I was about to reference a lyric, but I can't even do it because the shit is not that. It's not on my radar. You know what I'm saying? But at the same, and I definitely listen to the album. They just not that quality to me. It's really not. You know, go to Future. Future got some bangers. You know what I'm saying? But you know, at the same time, it gets to the point where how dumbed down do we have to be to get that shit 24/7 on constant replay every single day on the radio, where we don't get a Brenda Got a Baby type of song, Kendrick Lamar. You know, you get these things from only a selected few of the genre, like Big Sean or Kendrick Lamar or Drake or
J. Cole.
And I'm not J. Cole, and I'm not a big Drake fan or a big Sean fan.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, the quality of the music is still fucking there. A lot of these kids, like there's a young kid, I really like this song, Drowning. I forget the name of the kid, Lil Uzi, A Boogie, what is it, A Boogie with a hoodie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like his song. I like his energy. I like the music that coming from him. I like the music coming from some of these kids. Like they're talent out there. That's not what I'm saying, that it's not talent out there. I'm just saying the energy is not on the same level of All Eyes on Me type of album, or Kendrick Lamar's Good Kid, Mad City, or Nas Illmatic, or Nas Stillmatic, or Jay-Z 444, or and it may be different from generations, but at the same time, I talk to my nephew about music all the time. They want some real shit too. That he ain't sitting back and saying, "Yeah, I really like Uzi Vert. That's like that's my favorite rapper." Like, they're not saying that. My nephew is 15, 16 years old, and I'm not just talking to him. I'm talking to his friends too. They saying the same thing. They're like, "Yeah, it's cool. I mean, yeah. Who your favorite artist right now? Drake or Kendrick or?" You know, they talking about these same people I'm naming. You know what I'm saying? They're not sitting here being like, "Yeah, Lil Uzi Vert is my favorite artist right now." Like, they're not thinking like that.
Right. I still feel like it's still generational to me, because I mean, those are, well, somebody, the people you talk to might not, somebody like them.
Clearly people like them, and clearly it's not people necessarily. I'm thinking the industry is pushing these people in your face, where it's like, okay, like they can catch on. You just catch on to the beat. I ain't saying they like, oh my God, they see them in the street, they gonna be like, oh, how do we get that autograph? But you don't get that same kind of energy with these people.
Well, you know, I think that also just goes with celebrity in general, just doesn't have the same effect on people.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Because celebrity has been watered down thanks to reality shows and stuff. Like, it's just like
the mystique is gone.
Yeah, the mystique is gone, and I feel like, you know, it's just different. It's just a different time. You know, it's just different.
I agree. We'll just have to agree to disagree on the fact that, you know.
And I'm not even like a fan of all these people just to be.
He really not. He just have a different perspective on
right.
it.
I just understand. You know, I understand style change. I understand cultures evolve, cultures change, generations. People like different stuff. Lingo's different. Bops are different. That's how I feel.
And I think that's cool and all. It can change. You know, we can talk about the lit generation. We talk about this lit information, all this lit energy. And that's good. We need that kind of energy. It's dope energy. We need that lit energy. But I think that you still need that balance between that lit energy and guidance for that lit energy as well. That's why I like people like Kendrick Lamar. You know, I love Damn Album. I like Jay-Z 444. Like, I understand if he was like, Jay-Z 444 wasn't that great. I think he did say that. I think Barball did say something to that effect. And I understand that because that's probably like mine and you, me and you, or and people in our age bracket and up who actually listen to a Reasonable Doubt album, who actually listen to Jay-Z Hard Knock Life album, you know, who actually know the history of Nas, Illmatic, Stillmatic, and they hear Jay-Z 444, they can be like, what the hell are you talking about? I mean, I'm not even there yet. Like, I'm 21. Like, they haven't lived enough life yet to get to the point to understand some of these topics that some of these artists give it. So they probably relate to, All My Friends Are Dead. Even though that's a dark ass, deep ass.
That song is dark.
That is a dark ass, deep ass song.
Really and truly, at the end of the day, if you really want to find some music, it's some music out there to find.
It really is.
And that's the thing with the industry is so much smaller now too. Yeah. You know, everyone isn't big anymore. There was a time when everybody was major. Now there are a lot of artists who are underground, and there might be a balance to some people because they may be listening to so many indie artists that are underground that they probably saying, well, it's a balance. Like, I listen to this person, that person, this person. Because as soon as you cut the radio off, it's all fair game, really and truly. Because the radio is just where it's not balanced at. You go online, you go to these different streaming services, like even Apple Music's like playlists to give you like different stuff. So it's out there if you feel like you're having some type of void,
in your music,
some type of thirst for music that speaks to you, you can really find it,
Yeah, that's what my nephew did. That's what Trey did.
Yeah.
He went and listened to Outkast. We didn't put him on that. He went and did that.
And not even just like the old people. I mean, even new people.
I'm talking, like, you can go find her. You can go find
all type of people who name I don't even know. Right.
Like, what's your homeboy that's from Savannah that's rapping in Atlanta right now?
Clay James.
A.K.A. James. Like, you can definitely, like, these people.
That's not my homeboy, but I know. But we kind of grew up together, so I just wanted to clear that, just in case people be like, you know Clay and stuff, and I'm like,
we grew up together. Yeah. I grew up.
In the sense that we were kind of in the same schools and stuff. We ain't really like kicked it like that. So.
Yeah, we ain't like best friends.
Right.
But I think it's interesting time, and it's an interesting time for people of our generation to reach back to these younger generations to put them on some game. Not necessarily just hip hop. I'm not even speaking on hip hop. I'm speaking on life. Period. Like, this is the thing. A lot of the elders, people of our generation, we're millennials. We get a lot of limelight. It's the thing. It's the dichotomy of focusing. See, this is the issue I find with the whole situation with LeVar Ball and these younger artists, and it's exploitation of the youth. That's what the record labels and everything they're doing. They trying to placate and exploit the youth. That's just what they do, and that's why they don't validate and uphold people like a Jay-Z or a Nas or a Mos Def or a Method Man, Redman, Wu-Tang Clan. Like, they don't uphold them in the high esteem because they always want to gear towards the youth, and they figure they can gear towards the youth because they can exploit them and use them in however they want. And that's just the way the fucking game, the way the industry fucking works. That's just how it goes. And in order to negate that, negate those things, the elders have to start reaching back to the youth, period. And that's not just in hip-hop, that's in all factors of life, period. Because that's just the way this system is working, is placating to exploit the youth. The elders, people, once we get up to the age where they not even talking about millennials, they gonna be talking about the next generation, the lit generation, if that's what they're gonna call them. I don't know what they're gonna call them next. They did that same thing when we was coming up. The millennials were coming up. They wasn't really hard on talking to us. They wasn't really talking to us. They were talking to Martin and them generation, was Generation X.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's really the problem is we don't need more exploitation of the youth. We need more education being given to the youth. We need to give them more of the knowledge, more of the resources, more of the game, so they can be able to push the culture forward further than anything else. And we sit here and just let them do whatever the fuck they want. You get to the point where you're not nurturing the culture. You're just letting it die. You got to nurture something to let it live, and definitely give them room to breathe, be able to do their own thing, but definitely be involved to a certain degree. All your biggest artists right now, that's out right now, the biggest artists, I ain't talking about because Lil Uzi Vert, he big, but he ain't that damn big. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. The biggest artists, they got nurtured by an elder somewhere down the line. Like Kendrick, he got his father. He had Top Dog. You got Drake, he got his father. He got what my man from Texas? What his name? Y'all know his name. Y'all shout it out. I probably get scolded about it later on.
Ooh.
He's a big Texas
Bun B?
No, the Jive Records. What his name? The guy that owns Jive Records. Huh? The guy that owns Jive Records. I don't even know.
I don't know.
He brought out Scarface crew.
Oh yeah, him.
That guy. You got DESHAUN and Kanye West and his crew and his father. Like, these people have eldership leading them and guiding them through their career. We just let that shit just go. You get a lot of little Uzi Verts, and that's all the fuck you hear.
I mean, but who's to say these guys don't have elders in their corner? Like, you don't know.
We don't know that, but if you listen to the music, you can tell. You can kind of tell there's no leadership going behind these kids. You know what I'm saying? 21 Savage, he got a little eldership coming behind him, so he can answer. But I'm talking about to the fact that you can look at who's the biggest artist right now, who's looking like they can last 10 years down the line. I don't think a little Yachty is gonna last 10 years down the line.
I mean,
me personally,
everybody ain't gonna last. I mean, that's just, even if they all were actually amazing, they ain't just saying everybody ain't gonna. That's just how music works. Like, somebody gonna die off. Not die off.
People are going to die off, but it's more deeper than that. I think you're making it more plain than what it really is. I think it's deeper than that. That's why I say it's very integral that these youth need to be guided by the eldership, just like in the dope game. It's just like, in the gang culture, the OGs guided the young gangsters, and the OG word is pretty much fucking law. Like, follow what the fuck your OG is saying. They ain't gonna steer you wrong if they ain't on some bullshit. But the problem is, a lot of these OGs are being on some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's kind of similar to what Most Def was saying on the interview. Like, we have to really be there for these younger generations and for these younger children, and outside of the music, outside of the fuck what's going on in hip hop. Let's talk about what's going on in the world.
Yeah.
Kids need eldership. Kids need guidance. They don't need to be just left.
I mean, I'm not talking about children. I was just talking about hip hop in general.
I'm talking about hip hop too.
But
it can't be just left free will. It can't.
I mean,
because you won't have quality music. You won't get the music that really will change and shift and push culture forward. It will stagnate and die and get sold away to white corporations who will say the greatest rapper of all time is Snow the Product. You know what I'm saying? A white girl. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. If you want to maintain and hold down your culture, better give the knowledge to these kids and stop fucking around and let them do whatever the fuck they want.
I mean, I just
That's how you maintain your legacy. That's how you maintain culture.
All I'm gonna say is, first of all, I don't think they're like, you make it seem like the younger rappers are just kind of running wild doing what they want to do. And I do feel like it's somebody in their corner. Like, it may not be nobody you know. It may be it's somebody now. And then when it comes to music, just everybody not gonna last. Like, the people who will last, the people who won't last. And you give it time as well. Music, they may grow and make something better later in life. Like, some people like need time. You can't just really cut everybody off as soon as they come out. Like, oh no, your music is shit. I don't like it. I don't get it. You just need to be shut down. You know, and
you sound just like DJ Academics.
And I just feel like it needs time to become. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're still young. They're still trying to do their thing. Like, let them. I just feel like the young generation do their thing. I do.
Yeah.
I do.
I don't have a problem.
As far as it being sold, hip hop was sold out a long time ago.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I just said hip hop was sold a long time ago.
It was, but I don't have a problem with the younger generation doing what they do. I just have a problem with it when they not bringing substance to these younger minds. You dig what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. We let these younger minds continue to develop off of this insane, nonsensical, women bashing, misogynistic, xenophobia, whatever you want to call it, with all them different phobias that you think is problems with hip hop, and we just let the kids just kind of run with it without giving them no kind of game, none, from no OGs, from nobody. And then you asking for a disaster. That's like just throwing out the baby with the bathwater and let them do whatever they want. I think that's come with eldership, that come with leadership, that come with every fucking thing dealing with. And you need that shit in the music game. You need that shit. And like I said, this music industry is for exploiting the youth. We know this. We see this. We know it's about exploiting the youth. So we got to keep that in mind and really be on that if you're going to get inside of the music game, if that's what you're going to go for. If you're just trying to get a bag, do your thing. Just get your bag. I ain't even mad at you. That's what you want to do. Just get your bag, get you a little quick money, get you a little bit of fame, get your name out there, cool, that's fine. But at the end of the day, what kind of legacy are you trying to leave behind? You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to say. What you leave behind for the next generation to pick up from. And from what I'm saying, the next generation, what they picking up from, they saying, let me go get this damn bag. Let me sell out. Let me do whatever the fuck I can. Let me talk about however the fuck I want to. Let me do whatever I want to. I got free range. It's my art. I can do what the fuck I want. I don't have no responsibility to nobody, not to my culture, not to my people, not to nothing. I think that's a false narrative to sell to children. That's a false narrative to sell to artists. That's a false narrative to sell to the people. I think that's a disservice to the people, and I think that's a disservice to the music culture of hip hop, period.
I definitely, like, I get it. I really do. I really, really do. But I feel like, first of all, hip hop has been like that since before these couple of people came around. Like, it's been like that for years.
It's been going on the down slope before then. But we ain't talking about before then. We're talking about right now, how we can big it back up now.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? These are solutions for it right now. This ain't like picking on the people. Picking on just this generation just because they hot right now. It's like we should have been had this conversation 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 15. When Gucci Mane and them were coming out, we should have had this conversation.
I mean, I think they were. I feel like this conversation has been had a lot.
It has, but it just hasn't been listened. Nobody really paid attention because everybody was trying to get a bag. Everybody trying to get money.
And I think there still are some people who, like you said, you got Kendrick, you got Chance, you got J. Cole, you got Drake, you got
people out there.
Yeah, like, it's just, it's still, it's not as gloomy as you're painting it like everybody, so.
Let me clear it up. I'm not making it as gloom. It's not gloomy doom at all. It's not like hip hop about to die off and jump off a pedestal.
Right. I think it's just changing.
Get all their records and all their stuff to white folks like R&B somewhat did. I'm not saying no shit like that. R&B haven't done that because there's a lot of dope R&B artists out there right now. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of dope music. There's dope music out here, period. You know, there's dope music out here. So, you know, I'm not saying it's not, but I'm saying the importance. I'm just stressing the importance of guidance of elders, the guidance of your OGs, I guess you put in quote context. That's basically what I'm saying. I'm stressing the importance of it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Where we at?
We at 1 hour and 22.
Holy shit! I didn't mean to make this long. Well, y'all got overtime on the Mother House podcast. We usually just do an hour, but definitely look out for each other during this hurricane season. Definitely stock up on some water supplies. Make sure you got enough money to get out of where you got to go to, and make sure you got enough money to be able to get back home.
Right, most definitely. Just stay woke.
Stay woke. But until then, y'all, thank y'all for listening to the Mother's House podcast. Let's go on ahead and close it out, cuz
Alrighty, y'all can follow us at soundcloud.com/DESHAUN DURON. We on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, YouTube, The Mother's House Podcast on all of those. The Mother's House Podcast on Facebook, The Mother's House Pod on Instagram, CORREAL Lyrics and Cola Cave on Instagram and Twitter, DESHAUN DURON and The George Pat on Instagram and Twitter, and also Mother's House Pod on Instagram and Twitter, and thegeorgepatterson.com. Oh, yes.
Yeah, thank y'all for listening to the Mother's House podcast. Definitely check out Thought Crimez. They working on a dope ass commercial for us, so look out for that. And until next time, y'all, thank y'all for listening. Peace, love, and light to the world. And hope y'all all be safe and stay blessed.
Bye.